Ladies and gentlemen, we went into the Pop Petty Cash Fund. And who do we get? Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns. Yes, indeed, ladies and
I
gentlemen.
swear to God, bro. I wish I had been keeping track of how many times they've played the Roman Reigns card. Bro, I am not exaggerating. I would say that we're probably somewhere in the 12 to 15 range.
Would not be surprised at that number if was confirmed whatsoever. I would not be surprised at all.
Yep.
And the fans every single time they pop for him, man. So yeah, how and I like Roman Reigns. I think Roman Reigns is I would say that he's the person in the WWE that transcends the business. I think he's in this era. I think I would argue that he's the only one in this era who does that. But at the same time, it's like when does this get old to the fans, you think? Or do you think based on the fan base popping for him, you think it never gets old?
Bro, it is old. It is old as a crusty 80-year-old man's freaking underwear, bro. It is old. The marks in the arena are going to get excited over anything. Yeah. People watching at home, casual fans that, aren't marks, see that and they say the same exact things we say. How many freaking times, bro? Yeah. I mean, my God, seriously, man. Come on, bro.
Do you think that the marks will never get tired of this?
No.
Yeah. I don't think so either.
It's theirs, bro. It's theirs. They took possession of professional wrestling. Therefore, because they took possession of it, they now feel obligated that they have to pop for everything. And that's exactly what you've seen. Guys, we've seen the Roman Reigns play 12 to 15 times. There is nothing to get excited about. And bro, I swear to you, it's nothing against Roman Reigns. If it was Austin, it would have been overkill. If it was Rock, it would have been overkill. It doesn't matter. I'm not talking about Roman. I'm talking about how many freaking times are you going to go to that same well? What did Netflix get on you about the ratings? So it's time to pull out Roman Reigns. I mean, that's what it feels like. That's exactly what it feels like. Did they say something about being disappointed in the numbers?
Yeah. And to me, I think there's interest in it because it doesn't make Roman Reigns feel stale. But here's my issue with that, though. If you're pigeonholing Reigns to remain or to keep his larger or bigger than the WWE status by just having him leave, then popped and leave, then pop. I know that he had a movie, scene or whatever. I get that, but that doesn't give an excuse for all the other times that it happened. And so my biggest thing is if you're going to keep relegating Roman Reigns to just come back with the pop, that takes so much out of his overall stock as this generation's top name. Just bringing him back and forth with pops, that doesn't help him as a character.
Chris, listen, I disagree with you a little bit because in my mind, it's over. Like, it's over. Like, bro, think about this for a second. They're gonna, okay, he's making a movie. We bring him by. Okay, we get it. We've seen it a million times. Think about that. I'm going to ask you one simple question, Chris. Seriously. Say you bring Roman Reigns back full time. Argument's sake. Who are you putting him in an angle with, bro? Who you, outside of Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar, who are you putting Roman Reigns in an angle with on this freaking Drew McIntyre? We going to go to Roman and Drew again? Who are you going to put this guy in an angle with to make it mean something?
Yeah, I don't think you heard me clearly enough. That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the creative. That's the challenge of the creative, but that I don't think that they're willing to do.
Yeah.
because he has. I mean, like I said, minus the movie thing, there all the other times he just came back for the return pop. You know what I mean? Because basically they're pigeonholing him right now to be just the pop guy. And it's like, nah, man, you gotta build him as a character. Austin, you mentioned Austin and Rock. Their character wasn't built on getting return pops all the time. Now, granted, Austin would, but at the same time, he would still be involved in week-to-week stories that caused that put a lot of layers on his character. The Zambonis, the throwing the belts in the in the rivers, all those scenes and all those moments that caused and that helped with stories. He didn't just come back all the time with just pop, 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 pop. When he would come back with the pop, it was usually because there was a good story that was going on, and not just, I'm going to come back a couple times, get tsunamied, or get, a spear through a barricade, leave for a few months, and then come back. That doesn't really put layers on a character, and it hasn't with Roman Reigns. I don't think it. But at the same time, I do think it is appeasing the fans. So therefore, I don't think this will be the last time that we'll have this type of pop card coming up from Roman Reigns.
We can't say appeasing the fans. You got to say marks, Chris. This is not appeasing the fans anymore. The fans are tired of it. I am speaking for the fans. We're tired of it, bro. It doesn't mean anything anymore. And on top of all that, you're going to bring him in for the pop, and you're going to completely take all the heat, any steam you had on the heels whatsoever. We're going to be Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, and the Usos beat them, and now the heels have absolutely no heat. So what did you do, bro? You satisfied the pop for the marks, and now you've totally again. Okay, now let's start all over with Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. Let's go through 6 weeks of tsunamis to get the heat back. Exactly. The booking is so horrible and clueless and cringe. And that first segment, bro, like, I'm watching this and all I could think about is, watching the Attitude Era and all the McMahon Austin segments. That's all I could think about. Yeah. And I'm watching this now. This is your opener for Raw. Yeah. Two women with very, very heavy accents that you cannot understand either one of them. They are both horrible, over the top actors, and this is what you're opening the show. Let me explain to somebody. When I mean somebody's a terrible actor, let me just explain to you. I'm going to make it real simple for you guys. When I say terrible actor, what I'm saying is it's the scene is not real and the scene is not believable, because if this were real life and this were really going on, people would not talk this way to each other. That's my point. There's one point in there where Rhea Ripley is pulling the old wrestling. No. Guys, let me ask you a question. When's the last time you remember saying no in any of the last 1,000 conversations you've had? When's the last time you said no? No, we don't say that. Real people don't say that in dialogue. That's what I'm talking about, bro. That is a wrestling promo. That is not believable, real people dialogue. That is what I'm talking about. And you have these two open the show. It's so over the top. It's such bad acting. And like I said, bro, if those marks in that arena will pop for that, Chris, they will pop for anything. They will pop for anything, because that was horrible.
Yeah, I mean, that's the show that we're watching, Vince, that we have to review every single week. It's not for us. And, both of us have said that in so many different ways.
And Chris, I hate to interrupt you, but I think you brought this up last week. And I don't want to interrupt you, Chris, but I will forget it. I will forget it. You're good. And I know you brought this up last week. So, Chris, they're carrying on. This is how effing clueless they are. Triple H, Heyman, Hayes, whoever is involved in this. And Michael Hayes needs to apologize to God, for insulting God and saying that God is giving him his creative. Please, Michael Hayes, if you think God would write this type of a television show, then you have no idea who God is. Okay, let's put that out there. But Chris, here's how clueless they are. So she takes the poison mist, right?
The poison mist, yes.
And they're putting over the poison mist. The poison mist. Well, Rhea Ripley took the poison mist last week, and she seems to be totally fine. And you said that. Chris, you said last week she's going to take the mist, she's going to sell it like that, and she's going to come back the next week perfectly fine. No eye patch, no reddening of the eyes, perfectly fine. So it's got zero effects on Rhea Ripley, but now we're supposed to believe again it's a poisonous risk, and what's her face? IYO SKY can't see for the next 2.5 hours.
Exactly. Yeah. But here's the funny thing about that: they tried to thread it through the show, but they did such a horrible job trying to thread that thing through the show. If it's so poisonous, she could see a picture. She could see IYO SKY. She could see Rhea Ripley. She saw all of them. And then the medical team was like, can you see? Can you see? And all of a sudden, Kyrie Sane comes in and he's like, get away from me, Kyrie. Like, oh, she can see.
Here's what's funnier than that, Chris. You're dead on. But here's what's funnier than that. When you see the poison mist, Asuka literally got it on IYO SKY's forehead.
Yeah.
By the time we got to the back, Chris, it was on her face and her hands. It was all over her head. I'm like, wait a minute. I saw her. She just hit her in the forehead. How the hell did she get this all over her like this? They're clueless. Bro, they are absolutely clueless. It's like the blind leading the blind.
Yeah, I guess the poisonous mist has like a
spreading agent where
poison
it
spreads. Yeah. Only thing you got to do is just hit the forehead,
and it
turns to a glue.
Yes.
Just like remember when the Ultimate Warrior and Papa Shango
with the green stuff.
All of a sudden, Warriors.
Bro, think about that. How many years ago was that, Chris? That had to be
that was like 91, 92.
So how many years ago is that? 30?
Yeah, 33, 34 years
30 years ago. And it's just as bad today as it was 30 years ago. It's just as bad today, man.
At least there was some. At least it was so character driven back in the early 90s. You know what I mean? Like there wasn't. Wrestling wasn't real. It was a suspension of disbelief.
Right.
So you could get away with any of that stuff back in the early 90s because it didn't portray itself as real character, as real people. It portrayed itself as real characters.
Yeah.
And so think about that, Vince. You can get away with a dead zombie walking in the ring with a gong. You know what I mean? You can get away with some type of voodoo person putting spells on people. You can get away with some type of just zany, electrifying person shaking ropes. You know what I mean? Like you can get away with that stuff in the 90s. Because that's what pro wrestling was all about. It was a comic book come to life. It was suspension of disbelief. You're trying to carry that over 35 years later with real tweets, real people taking pictures, real people taking pictures of heels, a series going on now as far as like your Rhea Ripley character basically going through some type of anxiety attack. It doesn't carry over very well.
Bro, here's where they really drop the ball, and this is all about living in the bubble. That's really all about. This is what it's all about. Because Chris, 9/11 was a game changer.
Yeah.
Because we saw scenes and footage and film on television that we never thought we'd see in our lives. And bro, I'll never forget 9/11 was happening, and bro, I even hate to bring this up, but you're seeing people jump from the towers. You're seeing horrific. And bro, I'll never forget that Monday was the same Monday where somebody dragged Hogan around backstage by a car, and you could tell he was on something with wheel. It looked like a ride. It looked like not like somebody was dragging, and that's what they don't understand. And Chris, what are we just coming off of, man? We're just coming off of Charlie Kirk, and how real and just horrific that was. This is what we see on TV now. So it's like you said, unless these are over the top, comic book characters, and it's supposed to be Ultimate Warrior, and it's supposed to be that, bro, you try doing this stuff with real people, right, and it looks ridiculous because of what we're so used to seeing. So when she does that mist, it's a joke. Yes. It's an absolute joke. You can't do that stuff in 2025 based on what we're seeing on the news on a daily basis.
Yeah. Well said. I agree. You can't make it feel real. You got to keep it in the characters. Like, I remember when I think of Mist, I think of the Great Muta. I mean, and I think, Muta was a character. He was mysterious. He was this Japanese mystico, and he really had this gimmick where there was such a quickness, a flashiness to him, and just like that, boom, he'll hit you with the mist, and he'll do like cartwheel, back handspring, elbows, and he had that really kind of jumpy, springy type of feel to him. And he had a mystique to him too. Yeah. And he came from, Japan and the Great Muta. And if you're passing over the Great Muta, the legend of the Great Muta, as far as Mist is concerned, and granted, I have a ton of respect for Asuka, but how they're booking her right now, who is she? What's her character? And why is she carrying the Mist name of the Great Muta?
That's it right there, Chris, because another person that comes to mind with Muta is the missing link. That was a bona fide character. Yeah. And bro, they never called it poison back then because, guys, here's the problem. Let me explain this to you. And you may think me and Chris are nitpicking. We're not nitpicking at all, bro. They're idiots because right off the bat, they're selling it as a poison mist, right? It's in freaking Asuka's mouth, bro. Yeah. Yes. The poison is in Asuka's mouth. Do you not understand that? So how is she blowing out poison mist if it's in her mouth? That's number one. And number two, Chris, and I guarantee you they did it back then with Muta. I guarantee you there was some kind of an explanation. Now, think about this, bro. Who else did that besides Asuka? Who did it before? Who was doing it?
As far as a female or male?
The last person to do it before Asuka.
The Mist?
Yeah.
Shinsuke?
Yeah. They had Nakamura doing it. Oh, and he also just happens to be Japanese. Yeah. So I guess it's some type of thing only the Japanese do. But like you said, Chris, at least try to explain to us why she's doing it. Say it's from Muta. Like, give me something.
Yes.
Give me don't just do it. And like I said, bro, so the woman is holding poison in her mouth in order to spread that poison onto somebody. Do you know how ridiculous that is? Bro? That's what I'm talking about. But what does that go back to, Chris? It goes back to these marks that everything is acceptable. You don't have to explain anything.
100%. And this is what I loved about characters back in the day. And I've said this plenty of times. Man, there was so much subtle nuances that meant so much. Muta just didn't spray the mist. He would conjure the mist by doing this.
Yeah, right.
He would put the fingers in the throat.
Exactly.
And
Yes.
that would conjure the mist up, and then there we go. He would do it because he had the tape around the fingers back in the day.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, he's in the match, and all of a sudden, he just comes and just and he's conjuring the mist, and then there he goes. You know what I mean? Those little nuances matter. Yeah. You're causing us to believe in the character that you don't just hold mist in your mouth. There's something in your tonsils that are poisonous that is holding in this tonsil. Right. As soon as you activate it with the fingers, then it sprays the mist.
Yeah.
This is the reason why someone like an Asuka, and she's been around for a while, and also the creative team, though, this is the reason why you got to watch tape of the Mudas of this world when it comes to stuff like that. And notice those nuances, because Muda would use it to conjure up a secret weapon type of feel. And it was a less is more type of mentality. You're not just spraying mist because it's some random segment when you're attacking them. You got to dig up in the depths of yourself and say you're experiencing a different, more devilish, more dastardly version of me that's going to conjure up this poison mist. If you keep using it, it takes away so much of the impact of this mist.
And not only that, when it's no sold.
Especially if it's no sold.
The next week, the person is perfectly fine the following week.
It's so poisonous that the person comes back just fine the next week. So I've never known about poison in someone's eyes lasting less than 7 days as far as its impact, you know what I mean? And so that doesn't make sense to me at all. You got to do those nuances, man. They matter so much.
Yeah, I agree.
We get Dominic Mysterio defeating Rusev. Roll up.
That was such a stupid spot with Dom putting the ref in the corner. Like, that looks so freaking stupid, bro. I mean, I understand the mule kick. I get it, but he's, but you know what? A referee from behind in the court. That was such a stupid spot, bro.
Yeah, that's horrible, man.
Yeah.
We have backstage earlier today, LA Knight talks to Adam Pearce, interrupted by the New Day. And this causes a match between LA Knight.
Bro, I swear to God, Chris, I can remember specifically. There was one Monday Night Raw. I can remember specifically. And we were running out of talent and angles and this and that. And I remember we actually booked a match against Goldust and JBL. And I hated it. I hated it because the match meant nothing. And I agonized, but there wasn't no one else was available on the roster. I can remember that. And I'm looking at this and, bro, you're gonna book LA Knight and Kofi Kingston. This is my first reaction. What my first reaction would be? Nobody's gonna give a what about that match. Nobody's gonna care about that match. Nobody. So okay, next, give me somebody else. But you're booking LA Knight and Kofi Kingston. No backstory. No nothing. You could care less. I mean, and again, Chris, you and I know. You're actually moving up start dates because, Monday Night Football is on, but you're going to book LA Knight and Kofi Kingston. That means absolutely zero, nothing. Bro, that just tells you right there. They don't care. They don't care. All they care about is filling the 2.5 hours.
Yeah, it's filler. And it's predictable too. It's raise your hand if you actually thought that Kofi Kingston was going to beat LA Knight in this match. No one has their hand raised because it's filler. It feels like just a nothing match. But here's the thing though. If the point of the matter is to get the pop for the LA Knight entrance, get the pop for the LA win, to them, that's a win for them as far as
Yeah.
the segment.
And give him a good match. Give him a good match.
Yeah. Give him a good match. Exactly.
Yep.
And it's like, why does how does that even matter? Okay, just if the match was 3-star, 4-star, what does this have to do with the building of LA Knight at all? And so I don't understand this. And one of the things I thought about in this match is, oh, how the mighty have fallen when it comes to the New Day. They weren't necessarily mighty before they turned heel, but you had this huge heel turn of Xavier and Kofi beefing with each other. Kofi being more of the baby face, Xavier turning more of a heel and kind of convincing Kofi. All of a sudden, they do this big old segment with Big E. They turn on Big E. That caused them to be heel. And yes, they had a tag team title, a brief one, you know what I mean, to make it make sense. But it's still, at the end of the day, what has this heel turn done, Vince?
Nothing. And that's the whole thing, Chris. You know, a successful writer is going to take every character from here to here to here. When you're doing this, bro, with every single person on the roster, you should not be in that spot. You should not be in that spot. And bro, we can go on here. You and I said this 4 weeks ago. Bailey and Rodriguez. We said it 4 weeks ago. Okay, bro. 1 week Bailey's gonna be mean Bailey. The next week she's gonna be happy Bailey. Then she's gonna be mean Bailey. Then she's okay. And where are you going with this? Where are you going with this? She's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. 1 week she's Dr. Jekyll. The next week she's Mr. Hyde. Okay. Or we got that after the first time. Yeah. Now where are you going with this?
Yeah. And that's it. I mean, at the end of the day, the payoff could be either Bailey turns on Lyra, or Lyra somehow convinces Bailey that she's Hugger Bailey again. But here's the thing. Hugger Bailey is never going to happen again. She's not going to go back to the old gimmick. She's not going to have the same music. She's not going to do any of that. So right now you have a middle of the road role model versus Hugger. And Bailey has constantly felt in that middle of the road, can't really break the echelon as far as just like top talent. She's been in that spot for a long time, man. I don't think that this gimmick really helps her. No. Because it just shows me, it shows the fans that there were two better versions of her than what we see now. I mean, that's basically what we see.
That is a great point. You're absolutely right. And bro, you got to remember when she did Hugger Bailey. Chris, how many years ago was that?
Ooh, 10.
She was much younger. She was cuter. She didn't have the purple hair. She didn't cake on the makeup. She was young and innocent. That worked then. So like I said, okay, bro, we understand now. We got Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Where you going with this?
Yeah. We're going to one of her better characters that she isn't anymore. You know what I mean? And so there's no payoff to this, man. We get Raquel Rodriguez defeating Bailey. We talked about that. Backstage conversation.
And that's the thing, bro. Here's their logic, Chris. Here's their logic. Let's give Rodriguez a win over Bailey because it's okay to be Bailey, because at the end of this match, she's going to be happy Bailey. So they're going to forget all about the finish. And that's their logic, bro.
I agree, man. It just, but as long as the fans, and they know, it makes it so easy for the fans it makes it so easy for the creative team to book this stuff because they know the fans will react regardless of what they bring them.
Exactly. You know and Chris, it's easy for them too because they just flip-flop it every week. Okay, what was she last week? Oh, last week she was happy Bailey. This week she's going to be mean Bailey. It makes it so simple for them.
Agreed. It makes it very simple. We have Kairi Sane approaching IYO SKY, gets yelled at, and somehow, I mean, I just found this so hilarious. You got the medics just asking her if she could see, and then just like that, she's kind of playing the emergency poison mist. And as soon as Kairi Sane comes in, she's just melancholy. She's just calm now. She can see.
And what is Carrie saying when she walks around with a picture of the three of them, like in her back pocket, like she's walking around, like this is what I'm talking about, bro. I swear to God, if me and Ed are writing this show, and one of us suggests this, we're asking the question, where she get the picture from? She keeps it in her luggage. Like we will ask ourselves those questions.
Yes, indeed. Fair questions too. I mean, it makes sense to me. We have LA Knight defeating Kofi Kingston. We talked about that. Akira Tozawa and Maxine Dupree backstage, confronted by Becky Lynch. And this segment was just simply Lynch making Tozawa and Maxine look like idiots.
Well, and it also is, here's what's really hysterical about this. The whole reason we do this angle is, okay, bro, so now we could have a match with Becky Lynch and Maxine Dupree. Like, after 10 years, you're going to do something with Maxine Dupree. Meanwhile, we just brought in AJ Lee how many weeks ago, Chris?
3? That was about a couple weeks before WrestlePalooza, so it's been about 3 weeks or so, 4 weeks. Yeah.
Where's AJ Lee? So we don't have an opponent for Becky. So now we'll give her Maxine Dupree. That's another match for next week, bro.
Wow, no AJ. Yeah, that's interesting.
No,
that's interesting. And you'd imagine you would have her go against Becky,
bro. You would imagine, Chris. You would imagine the babies go over in WrestlePalooza. Mm-hmm. You would imagine the heels want some kind of revenge.
Yes, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Save face because they got embarrassed. You would assume. No, we lost. Yeah, we lost. Let's on to Maxine Dupree.
And it's just to make Becky. It's just for a filler for Becky.
Oh, that's all it is. They have nobody to book these people with. That's the thing, bro. You John Cena is wrestling AJ Styles with 3 matches left.
Yes,
they don't know who to they have no idea who to book against who. No idea.
No.
How do you back yourself in such a corner, Chris, where you don't know who's Cody's next opponent after Seth?
Well, let's look to the internet. We'll find out. That's basically where we're at right now.
It's like with every single talent, man.
Yeah, it's a mess, man. It's an absolute mess. And I think basically what they're doing is they're looking at the internet, they're scoping around and saying, man, we're out of ideas. Let's just go to the internet. Let's go to the IWC. But the funny thing about that, though, is that Triple H just completely tries to sabotage the IWC and talk and complain so much about them. But then when the IWC benefits him, then he's like, you guys did it. You did it. You know, made it. But on interviews, he talks about how weird and zany and wacky the IWC is. It's like, okay, make up your mind. Either they're, ornery and they're just wacky, or they're a part of your booking committee. And this time, they're a part of your booking committee. And it's like, you don't know what you want when it comes to this stuff. So you punt over to the IWC because you don't have any ideas. So are they as bad as you think that they are? You know what I mean? And it's like, how in the world have we got to a point where the same IWC that you complain about is the same IWC that books a match in John Cena's farewell tour with only a handful of matches less than a handful of matches left, and only 2.5 months left in his entire career. Yeah. You want to use one of these spots for AJ Styles. No, again, no shade on AJ Styles. He's a Hall of Fame talent. But give us depth to this, man. Don't just give us matches for matches' sake. I always say that. I can't stand matches for matches' sake. It makes no sense to me.
Chris, this all goes back to one thing and one thing only. No Vince. It's that simple. Triple H is not qualified for this job. And that's why, Chris, I swear to God, man, I'm watching SmackDown on Friday night. They've got Drew McIntyre in the ring. And now I'm watching this, bro. And now 1000% Drew McIntyre is whining. Now he's a whiner. And I'm like, I'm looking at this guy and I'm saying to myself, this is the last guy that would ever be a whiner. This guy would be destroying everyone who steps in a ring with him. He'd have nothing to whine about. But now they've made a guy like Drew McIntyre a bona fide whiner. Yeah. I don't even know how you would do that on purpose.
And we sing the praises of Drew McIntyre ad nauseum at this point, man. And here's the thing: it's one thing that's clear is you said it, and you made it very clear, and it's been clear, and it's been a great point ever since we've talked about this collectively, and you put the word on him that makes perfect sense, and that's bulletproof.
Yep.
And that's basically what he is now, man. You can throw him in any type of gimmick, you can throw him in any type of angle, anything, and he's most likely going to come off in the losing end of this, and then he's just going to move to something else. I saw a picture on the socials that Jacob Fatu came out. I don't know how the segment ended up, but Jacob Fatu ended up being that.
I'm the Jacob Fatu. He was in the ring whining, and here comes Jacob Fatu for no reason whatsoever.
Well, I mean, what was the
bro? I swear to God, I don't even remember how the segment ended. I don't even remember. That's how forgettable it was.
So now we're going to get Jacob Fatu versus Drew, and Drew's going to put now Jacob over.
Yes. And then whine about it on the next show.
Yes, and then whine about it, and then somebody else is going to come and do a face-to-face against Drew, and then Drew's going to put them over. That's just, I mean, what are we doing with Drew McIntyre, man? It's terrible.
Bro, I swear to God, I wrote this. Here's my notes. I'm looking to see how it ended. Drew whining, Nick Aldis, Fatu out. What an angle. Those are my notes. That's the angle, bro. That was the angle. Yeah. Nice, unreal, man. Unreal.
Very much so. We have the Seth Rollins in-ring promo interrupted,
which was a repeat of last week's promo.
Yes.
Same exact thing.
Yeah. I will say, definitely, I mean, I've said this plenty of times before. WWE's production is, second to none.
Yeah.
Fantastic production. I did like the video promo as far as just the history and stuff like that. That makes that was cool. I mean, it's still no payoff to this. It's still a ring at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But if this was more of a championship feud, that type of time spent with that production that they did with the video, it would make much more sense. I think they did a really good job with that. But all that's for a ring. I just, to me, I would, in the creative room, I would push back hard because I would literally say, who was this helping?
Yeah.
Like, whoever beats who, how is it helping the other person's brand?
Yeah.
Like, it makes no sense to me whatsoever.
Just like at the pay-per-view with John Cena and Brock Lesnar.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last match was what? Cody and Drew?
Cody and Drew, yeah.
Yeah, where Cody's up and Brock's up and Cena and Drew are absolutely buried. What did it do for either one of those guys?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Yeah. And they just moved on like nothing happened. I mean,
I swear to God, when Chris, again, when I was writing and I'm presenting all this stuff to talent, bro, if I would have booked like this, they would have been asking that question. Vince, what does it do for me? How am I protected? That's what they would always ask. That's why I would always make sure if they were doing a job some way, shape, or form, they were going to be protected and they had an out. That's all they cared about. Mm-hmm. That's all they cared about, bro. If I'm going to do a job and I'm a heel, give me an out so I have an excuse. So I could say, I would have won if this didn't happen.
Exactly.
But when you just beat somebody clean, it does nothing.
Every time there's an out, there's a small bit of redemption. There's there's a gap in the closure of this that can always come back. You can always come back to it. You know what I mean? And you're bringing that part of it. Like if someone, if there was an interference or something like that, you can come back to that thing 5-6 months later because that person had an out and wants to come back to get the revenge.
Absolutely.
But when it's just a clean finish, when it's clean finishes all the time, there's no need to come. What do you come back for? You lost.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? There's nothing to that.
Chris, they had a match. You know, Sami Zayn now has this US Open Challenge. Okay. And this guy from NXT comes out, Evans. Do you know who this is?
Yeah, Javon Evans.
Javon Evans.
Yeah.
I swear to God, Chris, Javon Evans from NXT goes 50-50 with Sami Zayn. The week before, Sami Zayn went 50-50 with John Cena. So now Javon Evans can go 50-50 with John Cena his first night on the job?
According to Steiner math, yes. He can.
Oh my God. It's like, do you not even remember what you booked last week? That Zayn went 50-50 with Cena. Now he's going 50-50 with a guy we've never, ever seen before.
Yeah. You know, they want to showcase new talent and they want to bring people up for the sake of the fans. You know what I mean? They want that match to. And here's the thing, man. They don't even need to spend the time creating a character with these NXT guys because the niche, the main roster fans is becoming so niche that they know all about the NXT stuff.
Absolutely.
Too. You know what I mean? So they don't even need
bro,
to
I'm
go
watching,
the extra mile.
I'm watching this and this Evans. What's his first name?
Javon
Evans, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching Javon Evans and I'm like, they just had Carmelo Hayes on like the match before. There's no difference between these two guys. It's the same skill set. They're both African Americans. They're both high flyers. Neither one of them have a gimmick. And I'm like, you bring Carmelo Hayes in, you never get him over. He doesn't mean anything. And then on the heels of that, you're going to bring this guy in? Yeah. It's unbelievable, bro.
Yeah, see, and that's the thing. In their logic, it's like, okay, two flippies, no matter what race you are, no matter who you are, two flippies, the fans will love it. I mean, essentially that's where we are right now.
Yeah.
Carmelo Hayes, they've dropped the ball tremendously on him. They could have really done something with him tremendously. From what I'm seeing, is he still with the Miz?
Yeah, they put him with the Miz. There's no chemistry there whatsoever. Like that whole thing doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. So they're just filling spots for these names, man. It's just, you know, you had a concept that we talked about this on and off the air before, that you really wanted to challenge yourself as a writer to make everybody count.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate that philosophy more than ever now, because almost no one counts except for the top tier. And even the top tier barely counts because they go 50-50 too. You know what I mean? And so it's like Austin didn't go 50-50. Hogan for darn sure didn't go 50-50. Taker didn't go 50-50. And so it's like you have and that's the thing about building stars and having those main event stars that rarely lost. A loss would mean something if you beat someone who never lost. Yeah. And that makes it. But if you beat someone who loses 1 out of 2 or 1 out of 3 matches, your win doesn't matter as much.
Right.
That's the philosophy of pro wrestling. You're defeating someone who's undefeatable. You know what I mean? And it makes it brings in that shock value when you beat someone. And that's the philosophy that really should be right now. But because of this 50-50, no one stands out.
And think about it, Chris. We're talking about the real world and real life sports feel. Bro, every one of us can remember when freaking Buster Douglas beat Mike Tyson.
Yes.
Now, bro, would we have remembered that if Tyson had already had 4 losses under his belt? Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely. That's exactly what Dr. Chris is talking about.
Yeah.
If Tyson had 3 losses or 4 losses, that would have meant nothing. The reason that meant everything was because Tyson never lost.
Yes. And Buster Douglas, even in here in Columbus, Ohio, had a gym and everything, man. He from beating Mike Tyson.
Yes.
He became an icon.
Yes.
A boxing icon, like beating someone who's undefeatable. Yep. And that's what happened with Holly Holm. Yep. Holly Holm to this day doesn't have an impressive MMA record, but she beat Ronda Rousey though. You know what I mean? And so it doesn't matter who you beat, who you lost to. Same. There's so many different people who beat big names, you know what I mean? And I used to write articles for MMA for UFC, and I was just I would study a lot about UFC, and I would watch UFC a lot too. Kevin Randleman, an Ohio guy, and he was someone who came in from the streets and had a really difficult childhood, and he dethroned, you know what I mean, and won the UFC championship. And he ended up finishing, I think his record was like 17-16. Wasn't impressive overall MMA record, but he defeated the undefeatable though. You know what I mean? So regardless of what your overall trajectory is, if you beat the person who doesn't seem like they can ever lose, look at any Rocky movie in the entire series says exactly what I'm saying right now. Yep. Ivan Drago was undefeatable. Clubber Lang was undefeatable. Like every single person in this series was the big foe that was, Ivan Drago literally killed Apollo Creed. Like he killed him. And this is someone who stacked the deck of, okay. And he said those infamous words, if he dies, he dies, right? That's the type of, oh my gosh, this person is undefeatable. I'm shaking in my boots, but I'm still, for the sake of Adrian, going to do this. And if I die in the ring, I'm going to do this. Yeah. And that's why they start doing the gut punches during the fight, man.
And what was the freaking appeal with Hogan and Andre? They never lost. Hogan and Warrior, they never lost. Yes. Who can you say that about today? You could say that about Seth Rollins versus Cody Rhodes. You know how many losses both of those guys have?
Exactly. And Seth Rollins just cut a promo saying that he lost 4 times against Cody Rhodes. So like he doesn't really strengthen his case by saying him beating Cody Rhodes is going to be, and if Cody Rhodes beats Seth Rollins, what is that going to prove? I mean, he's beat him 5 times now. Like, what is that going to do toward his record? And how is that going to up his stock if he beats Seth Rollins? And it's like, why in the world are we doing this stuff and making 50-50 with main event talent? It makes no sense to me whatsoever, man.
Yeah.
AJ Styles and Rhea talking to IYO SKY, who's covered in poison mist now. And it's not as poison. It's so poisonous. It's allowing her to talk to Kyrie saying in Rhea Ripley. That's how poisonous.
And it's a spreading poisonous.
Yes, it spreads. It spreads. We have AJ Styles and Dragon Lee defeated Los Americanos, and it's like instead of hyping up this AJ Styles, I'm gonna say AJ Styles. Instead of hyping up this AJ Styles John Cena match, we see no John Cena, and AJ Styles just simply cuts a thank you promo while he's teaming up with Dragon Lee against Los Americanos.
Exactly. Yeah, you're putting AJ's taking on John Cena. You got AJ in a tag team match.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, a nothing tag team match. Yeah. Stephanie Vaquer getting an interview backstage gets interrupted by Tiffany Stratton. They're setting up the women's ring match.
Yeah.
All right. Then we get the main with the Usos defeating Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker because of the Roman Reigns pop.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get to the super chats. We got Awesome Sauce, $5. This is what Triple H envisioned back in January. Okay, now it's happening here in September, and it will go on forever. Or should I say September? I pop when he says September, man.
That's exactly why he's doing it. So let's give Shad some love. Here we go.
Indeed. This is what we envisioned in January, okay? Yes, sir. It's happening here in September. Gonna go on forever.
Hey, bro, the Jags are 3-1, bro. I'm just saying.
Man, what is going on, man?
The Jags are 3-1. I'm just
look
saying.
At the Jags.
Yes.
You think that they'd be in the bottom of the AFC South, man, but the Colts on the top, man. Yep. So kudos to them for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Let's do traffic jam, $2. Dirty Dom needs to disband from Judgment Day now. I just don't get that whole thing, man. There's just no end in sight when it comes to
they're gonna milk that till Liv comes back, and then they're gonna run that angle for 6 months.
Oh, it's terrible, man. Absolutely terrible. We have Michael Pessolano 199. Vince, they listened to you and put up subtitles.
They did. They put up subtitles in the opening promo. Yes, they did.
You know what else I noticed? And it seems like it came from this show. There's color in Braun and Bronson's.
I noticed that too. I definitely had gold on. Yep, I noticed that too. Yep.
Frank Loglisi 199. Time for the King of Pops to just beat it.
Yes.
We got Danimal 499. Celebrate my birthday yesterday. Happy birthday, Danimal.
Yes.
I watched the September 28th, 1998 episode of Raw, the famous Steve Austin Zamboni episode. You can't compare tonight to then. Wow, that was 27 years ago.
That's crazy, man. That's nuts.
Yeah. We have West Hill, $5. I'm so tired of hearing Seth Rollins say he's the future. Dude, you're 40. And I've been saying that since 2014. Someone needs to give him new verbiage.
Wes, I swear to God, I was thinking the same thing because he was talking about him and Cody and like the next 10 or 20 years. I swear to God, Wes, I was saying the same thing, and I was doing the math in my head. So, Seth, you plan on being on top when you're 60?
It's a future.
Like, exactly. Is that what we're talking about here? I swear to God, Wes, I had the same exact thought.
Yeah. And they were both talking about both of them being the future of the business. And, like, neither of them are, like, they're 40. They're in the 40s. So, like, it wouldn't make sense.
Can you imagine a baseball player in his 40s saying, I'm just getting started?
Yes, I'm the future of the business, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, indeed. By the way, baseball, let's go Guards.
Cincinnati, bro, and the Reds. Both of them in the playoffs. Very nice. The Guardians. What a roll.
Man, what a run. What a run the last. And they were down 8-6, and then they did the 3-1 homer.
And you know what playoffs is all about, bro. It's about whoever's hot. I mean, whoever goes in hot, and they are – them and the Yankees are red hot.
Oh, the Yankees is fantastic. They've won, what, 93, 94 games, something like that?
I think they were on an 8-in-a-row run going in.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let's do Venitude Art 199. EO could have just showered. Problem solved. Exactly.
That's a great point, too. That is a great point. At what point do you get in the shower and get the shower off?
Yeah, get the poison off. I mean, don't you want to just run to the shower from the ring? Just run to the shower backstage. Problem solved.
You would think if you got poison in your eyes, you're going to – that's a great point, Venitude. Very nice. Very nice.
Yes, indeed. We get Zubair, $2. AJ Styles and Cena announced with no builder story.
Yeah. No, nothing. Nothing.
We get Traffic Jam, $2. Maxine Dupree need a gimmick change and be a heel. I don't think the video's been released yet of my idea with Maxine Dupree, but I think you guys will like it. So I've been getting a lot of controversy, fun controversy on Twitter about my booking lately. So I'm going to keep it going. So it's been pretty funny. Absolutely. Let's see here. We have PHG 499. We had Heyman in the ring for 20 minutes on SmackDown and still don't know why Brock attacked Cena.
Yep.
That's a good point.
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely. Yep.
We got Zubair, $10. Is Lesnar Cena's last opponent? After all, Lesnar said he wanted to retire Cena They just got to mention at least why Lesnar targeting Cena, perhaps orders of the final boss. Hope it's stipulation like Hell in a Cell. What you think?
Bro, I would think the only way they could have done that squash was if for it to come all the way around and Cena's got one last shot at him. I would have to think that.
I agree. I mean, you have to do that, man. I mean, but still, Lesnar being Cena's last opponent, though, it's just, I mean, there's a good chance it's going to happen, but just still no reason. Like there's been no explanation from what I've heard of why Lesnar attacked Cena. There's no explanation. Like to me, what makes the least sense is that we heard nothing from Cena, and you can correct me if I'm wrong when it comes to SmackDown. We've heard nothing from Cena of being absolutely decimated by Brock Lesnar. You're just going to no-sell the fact that you just got decimated by Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to me whatsoever. Instead of saying, I'm going to get my retribution at Brock Lesnar, it's, I'm going to go to Twitter to see what the fans say about me and Styles. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. You have Young Reckless 199, Book Black like Kane and the Wyatt Six. Aleister Black like Kane and the Wyatt Six like the Ministry of Darkness. What do you think about that?
Bro, they did a shot the other day. I swear to God, bro, they did a shot the other day. The Street Profits are in the tag match, and the Wyatt Six is in the crowd, and whatchamacallit was not with them. Uncle Howdy. Uncle Howdy was not with them. And I'm like, okay, all right, okay.
So what was the point of the Wyatt Six anyways? I know, it was homage to Bray, but wasn't it there was people who weren't really getting their come up, like it didn't getting shine, and they felt like they were in an abyss of being booked, and so he came and kind of revived their characters. Was it at the point of the
it was something like that, bro?
Yeah.
And bro, we're going into Halloween month, and we still can't figure out what to do with that creatively. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. We have PhD 499 on SmackDown. That ref would have gotten an earful in the second. The second she got to the back, if Vince was in charge, not Triple H probably gave her a hug and said it's okay. Help me understand that, Vince.
There was a big fail on SmackDown there was a triple threat match with Cargill and Nia Jax and Tiffany, and Cargill got busted open, and then Tiffany covered Nia Jax, and her shoulders were down, and the referee stopped at 2 because somebody in her headset was given a different direction. Nia and Tiffany literally look at the referee like, what the F are you doing? And then Tiffany goes up to the top, hits her finish with Nia still lying there for like 5 minutes, and then the ref counts the 1, 2, 3. Wow. It was such a horrible botch.
That's terrible.
Terrible botch. Yeah.
I'm good friends with Marty Elias, who ref there for a long time, and he told me, I've had him on my show a bunch of times. He told me times where there were finishes that were supposed to happen one way, and because people weren't in their spot quick enough or when they were supposed to, Vince was like, "Don't you dare! Don't you dare wait! You better call that audible and have that person pin that person." So
the heat would have never ever been on the referee if a wrestler did not get their shoulder up. That referee's got to count to 3.
You got to count to 3. Absolutely. We have Chocolate Jam, $2. Corporate CM Punk is needed for the WWE.
Yeah,
easy. I've said that several times, man. We need corporate Punk for sure. Steve Sinady, $5. Do you think WWE will ever bring in the triple tier cage like WCW did? They brought in Sammy, Alzut, Zayn. Why not the triple cage?
No, I don't think they will.
They're not going to bring in a triple cage. No.
They're not going to do, guys. They ain't going to do anything out of the norm. They're coasting. They're coasting. They're not going to do anything out of the norm.
Yeah. YB lost 199. I'm assuming the mixed tag was a one-off for AJ.
Supposedly she signed a contract with them. Supposedly that was the news.
Yeah. We got Outlaw of College Football, $5 just because. Thank you very much. Another $5. I'm going to give you one for that. Having Drew put over everyone would be like Michael Jordan giving all game-winning shots to Kerr. Yeah.
You're right. Yes.
Yeah. We got Zubair, $10. I understand why WWE doesn't do chair shots to the forehead, but it's an insult to my intelligence with constant back and stomach shots. It's repetitive. Why not just do protected chair shots to the forehead?
You saw tonight, Zubar, there was a spot where Braun was out of position and freaking Roman grabbed him by the head just so he could have his back for the chair. It was as clear as day. Yeah.
We got G-Man, NJ, $2. I feel like I saw tonight's main event 10 times already.
I do too. Yep.
Traffic Jam, $2. Current NXT stars will be lost in WWE because TKO. Yeah, well, if they elicit pops, man, they'll just be like all the other main roster stars.
But it's funny, Chris, because again, notice they were promoting next week's Raw. Tickets available.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Not sold out, man. Wow.
Yep.
Zubair, $2. Bronze as tag champs makes sense. Then JD and Finn. I mean, something else.
Yeah. I mean, JD and Finn is just useless. Yeah.
I've been saying that over and over again. I even put a tweet out on Twitter about Bronze being tag team champs and got a lot of fun about it, man. So it was cool. You know, the comments of IWC is a case study in and of itself, man. It is absolutely the very fact that someone's opinion about a pro wrestling match can elicit so much emotional ire from people.
Unbelievable, bro.
It's absolutely laughable as an adult. It's
incredible.
It's so hilarious, man. We have Wes, $5. Vince, how much overtime did God have to put in to give Michael P.S. Hayes?
Oh, yeah, God was working overtime on this one, man. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, he didn't even rest on the Sabbath on that one. we got Hannibal, $5. Thoughts on Bret Hart shooting on Triple H and calling him a phony? I mean, that's part.
I just love Bret because Bret's got to be the most unpolitical guy in the history of. He will bury who's on top. He could. You can never accuse of Bret Hart looking for a job. Never in a million years, bro.
100%. YB lost 199. Rollins will def Cody because no titles on the line. I'll defeat Cody.
Yeah.
I think that was the whole point of lost 4 times. But we got Brian Salazar 499. Vince at the King of Pops definitely need a pop. You think he'll ever summon Al Snow and head for a pop? Maybe he can mentor Bailey with her issues.
Now that would be fun. That will be fun if they bring in somebody to try to help Bailey and it's Al Snow and head. That would be freaking entertaining. Bailey gets her own head. Her head falls in love with Al's head. Now we've got something, Brian. Very nice. Very nice.
I like it. We got Zubair, $5. Y'all agree the commentary is just boring and too much trying to be sports-like? This is pro wrestling, not a real sport. Miss old days of commentators.
Yeah, I miss the old days of the commentaries with personality, man. I was thinking about that. I was thinking of Jesse today, man.
Oh, yeah, man. He was so good. He was so good. You know, it's maybe I agree with what you're saying, Zubair. I think Joe's doing his best, man. But he's a college football commentator, man. He's really, really good in college football. And the pacing in college football is so different than pro wrestling, man. So it's hard to really assimilate well into pro wrestling from a college football.
Bro, the best guy they had was that guy at NXT that they ran out.
Mauro Ranallo.
Oh,
He was
bro,
fantastic.
he was
Yes.
He was.
I was a huge fan of Mauro Ranallo.
Yes,
A lot
he
of
was
people,
great. Yeah,
a lot of people didn't like him for some odd reason. I was like, "What in the world are y'all talking about?"
He was good.
This is the emotion that we need.
Yeah.
From a Jim Ross perspective, as far as his bringing light and adding layers to characters, he's the guy. You know, the Mamma Mia and standing up when so much emotion. It was so infectious, man. I loved it. And Percy Watson, too, as a color commentator, was criminally underrated in NXT. I think when it was Morrow, Nigel McGuinness, and Percy Watson as a 3-man group in NXT, criminally underrated trio of commentators, man. They would have went very far if WWE really would have given them the reins, in my opinion. We have Rollins 999. Cena squashed by Lesnar on ESPN debut. Cena versus AJ Styles. McIntyre losing clean to Cody Rhodes in the same ESPN debut. Drew was crying. Is WWE punishing Cena and McIntyre for attending McMahon's birthday party?
Yeah, no, we've talked about that because Roland, it seems like that. I mean, you may call us crazy, but it definitely seems like that. It really does.
That's interesting. That's interesting. That's not far-fetched, in my opinion.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we're going to close up for the night. Vince Russo, let them know where to find you, my
guys. Man. Go to my Patreon, get your free week of the brand. If you want to sign up after that, it's 75 cents a week. Patreon.com/Russo TWC.
Yes, indeed. I got an interesting topic that I'm talking about tomorrow. I'm going to talk about the psychology of why Dominic Mysterio is getting liked, and there's an interesting psychological concept when it comes to the law of attraction. And so I'm going to talk about that tomorrow. I was like, you know what? I think this will be a nice class for PNP tomorrow. So be sure to tune in. Follow me at Chris Prolific. Until then, this guy right here is Vince Russo. I am Dr. Chris. This is the Legion of Raw. Have a good night, everybody. Solo.